Evening all. You know it's time to go wild, because it's Monday night. Start of another week, another Monday night, another time to go wild radio here on Halton Community Radio 92.3 FM with me, Cole, and Doug. Of course, you can catch us online via the website www.hcr923fm.com and via TuneIn. We have our Facebook page, facebook.com/ttgw radio. Also put the same bit after twitter.com. You can, of course, send your messages radio@widnesworld.co.uk, and the phone line will be 01928835291. Evening, Doug.
Good evening, how are you?
Oh, I think I finally caught up with myself after the last couple of weeks. It's been really busy.
It might be a bit of a quieter show tonight.
No,
not quieter. Not used to it.
No.
But Did we tell them where we got?
Not yet. We'd better do one thing first, because there was a little game at the weekend, so we'd better do this. Yes, the music's playing because there was actually a fixture at the weekend, and it was down the road in North Wales, Doug, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was on D-side.
So,
on Saturday, it was a charity game for the Clare House Hospice, and I think the final score was 13-all.
Well, you were there, so you can tell us a little bit more about it, and then one of our guests will be able to give us a bit more. So, what was sort of happening?
I think it was just supporting the local hospice, and one of our players went along, our captain, Sean Dipnell.
Yes, and you managed to catch up with him at the end of the game.
Yep, just at the end he did.
So, here he is. Here's our Sean. What he had to say at the end of the game.
Hi, it's Doug Brown from Time to Go Wild Radio at the D-side ice rink. And guess what I found here? It's our captain, Sean Dipnell. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
And why are you here today, Sean?
Just going back to playing the charity game. It's for Clare House charity for kids, so I thought, why not come down for a little skate?
And when did you get invited to that?
A couple of weeks ago I got a text and just asked if we want to be involved, so I thought, why not?
And did you enjoy the game?
Yeah, it was all good fun. Some good friends on the team, so it's always nice to play.
So are there any outstanding moments today?
I think Junior's goal was probably the highlight.
I saw you making chesting to Jeff Wigglesworth quite a lot during the warm-ups, so was there a bit of a plan going on there with Junior coming on?
No, to be honest with you, he got the puck and decided he wanted to go for a skate and managed to score, so he did well.
That's a cracking goal. So you had a good time then?
Yeah, good fun. Good to catch up with some people you don't see often. A good day.
All right, mate. Thanks very much for your time.
No problem at all.
Bye.
So there you go. That's what Sean had to say after the game. And, well, we may as well bring our guest in, shouldn't we, Doug?
Yeah, there was someone else there who was at the night. He's in the studio now.
and well...
it's your friend of mine, our friendly announcer, Vince Bullock.
How you doing?
All right.
Nice of you to come and join us tonight, Vince.
Thank you.
So we also have your junior member of the family, we should
Offspring.
say. Yeah, well, he's been in before, so he knows the ropes. Evening, Danny.
Evening, you right?
Yeah. So we'll just catch up with Danny quickly. What have you been up to since we last spoke?
Oh, not much. I've actually got myself a couple of weeks off work at the moment. I'm going away on Friday, and just been playing a bit of hockey as always.
Bit of vitamin D when you go away, recharge, ready for the new season. Not too much overindulgence, we hope.
No, we'll try and keep it to a minimum, but with who I'm going away with, that's possibly not going to happen.
Weightlifting, but in the correct way, we hope.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
So, Vince,
yeah,
you were at the event on Saturday night, wasn't it, in D-side? So, you give us a bit more about what was involved and how you got involved.
It was for a good cause. I got a call about a week or so before asking me if I would do the announcing for them, which I was very happy to do. Anything for a charity is always a good thing. So turned up, and it was a great opportunity to catch up with some friends that I've known over the years, not seen them for a long time. So it was good fun. It was a good day.
Fading the wrong mic down there. So the announcing, how did you get into the announcing malarkey?
Well, that goes back long time. For many years, over 36 odd years, I've been a DJ and compere, working mobile disco, doing all sorts of gigs all over Manchester and so on. And then when Danny started playing hockey at the tender age of 6-7 years age, he eventually got himself playing, and it was a natural progression to get into the announcing side of things. But particularly watching Manchester Storm, I always enjoy the crowd. The bigger the crowd, the better, as far as I'm concerned. So it was just a natural thing to take over and do that. So every team he's played for, I've worked as a game announcer for him.
And you ended up joining the Wild from our second
I think this
season.
is fourth year, I think.
Fourth year you'll be with us.
Fourth year, yeah.
So how did you get dragged into doing that one?
Well, that was Mick Corns. I got a phone call one evening out of the blue from Mick, who said, look, we need a game announcer, will you come down and have a look? So I went down, and there was a couple of people already down there who I knew, old friends, and said, yeah, this looks right, good fun. And no sooner had I started with that than, at the time, I think Danny was in Australia, and when he came back, he got his skates on and started skating, and I think it was about half a season or so he did with Rec, and then joined Widnes Wild, and that's how it went from there.
It must be a bit disconcerting for you, Danny, with your dad announcing and watching you playing at the same time.
Oh no, it's always been good for him to be involved in that as well. So he's always done it from a young age, and it's nice to have that connection with him.
So in terms of the crowd, from your perspective as an announcer, you like the big crowd at somewhere like the MEN or Manchester Arena. I mean, were you surprised for the level that Widnes are at, the size of the crowd that we get?
One of the things that's I think is so significant about Widnes is the fact that they've taken to the game and taken to the atmosphere so fantastically. Normal sport, no matter what it is, you very often get crowds that just turn up just to watch the sport. But the crowd at Widnes turn up to watch the sport and really get involved in the atmosphere. And there have been nights there where the place is absolutely rocking, and it's fantastic. Really is.
I mean, we say it time and time again, the infamous 700 game against Eastside, and just, I mean, up until then we'd had rocking nights, and that just near blew the lid off the place.
Well, we've spoken about it backstage, if you like, but I don't know how publicly known it is that throughout the whole of the league, and I don't just mean the D2 amateur league, if you like, but the whole of ice hockey is buzzing about what a fantastic atmosphere it is at Widnes Wild. And I was talking to somebody not very long ago from Manchester Storm from years ago, and said it brings back memories of some of the atmospheres, albeit smaller, but it brings back memories of the atmosphere of what it used to be like at the MEN Arena with Manchester Storm.
I think one of the key things of the smaller rink-based teams, when you get a decent crowd in there, it does get intimidating. I mean, I've been in places like Guildford or Peterborough, Hull. Most people know we've been over in Hull. And again, here at Widnes, I mean, it's just so... A small group can make it so loud.
Oh, absolutely.
And you see how much... I mean, for Danny, you've was saying about this last time you were in, about how much it changes the game, be you in the lead or be you behind. I mean, if you're behind in a game, I mean, that noise can be a big game changer, can't it?
Yeah, definitely. The crowd can have a massive influence on the way a game goes. If everyone's cheering and behind you, then you know, that's always a great thing to hear. You know, people are in your corner and you know, they want you to achieve.
I mean, we've had all kinds of interesting antics on the ice as well between periods, and of course the big drill at the end of last year was Pucker in his quad bike.
Absolutely.
And the chuck, we have all the chuck-a-duck and everything. It really does give the kids an extra something.
Well, the big thing that has always been pushed for ice hockey is that it's a family affair. It's a family night, and you should never be put off taking your kids along to an ice hockey game, albeit that, you know, it's considered to be violent and this, that and the other. It's done with the best sporting intentions I've ever seen in any sport. And I think that is something that we need to pass on to the kids, and it comes through in the atmosphere. The kids feel safe at Widnes.
Yeah, well, I've spoken to many a supporter, and it's actually quite funny. You see them with the really really young kids, young primary school age, and there was a bit of a scrap in a game, and the parents like, "Oh, is it like this very often?" And you can see this wry grin starting to appear on the kids, and it's like, you can really see the kids were getting into the energy of the game.
But the big feature there, of course, is, and this is what we do need to emphasise, is that the kids also see all the players shaking hands at the end of the game.
Yeah, this is very true.
And when they see that, they recognise how important it is that sport and what goes on the rink stays on the rink. When the lads come off, they're all really good mates with each other, opposing teams and so on.
Yeah, I mean, Danny, you can vouch for that, can't you? I mean,
yeah,
players from other teams.
Yeah, absolutely. I know. There's a lot of players on other teams that we play against that I call good friends. I've grown up with them. I've known them for a long time. Some of the Blackburn lads last year were pretty much our arch club, but some of them I've grown up with and known them all my life. So definitely. And
I mean, because of the level that. Well, the way in which all the players are sourced for the D2 and D1 leagues, particularly around, because there will come a lot of them from around the north of the country, they do know each other through the junior ranks through one way or another. And there's rivalries, but as you say, there's big friendships as well. So you don't have a problem going and giving a good bounce off each other in the corners or hip check.
It's a big family. Yeah.
But you will shake hands and have a good laugh about it later.
Well, they all accept the fact that is the sport. That's what it's all about. So they're all on the rink there to play the sport, and then at the end of the game, you shake hands, come off the game, and go and have a pint and so on. That's great.
Well, I think we better play one of the tunes that you'll often hear.
Yes.
I suppose, Vince, you may as well give it the big introduction.
Well, if we're going with the one that I hope we're going with,
should be,
particularly as the two of us are here today, it's The Boys Are Back in Town.
Bit of Thin Lizzy, Boys Are Back in Town. Of course, you'll be hearing that regularly if you come along to Widnes, RTL Widnes Wild Games at the Hive in Widnes. A few more questions, I think, now, haven't it, Doug?
Yeah, that's quite an appropriate song, really, because the boys are back. You started training again recently, didn't you, Dan?
Yeah, we started training not the Thursday just gone, the Thursday before that. I think there's a few rusty legs, and but yeah, no, it was good to get back on the ice with the lads.
And last week we had the season ticket holders event.
Yeah, you did, yeah.
Where we came to watch it. That was quite interesting from a fan's point of view, watching the kind of training you do.
Yeah, so I think it's always it's a bit more of an insight into what kind of goes on, away from game days, and the lads do turn up every week, work hard. They definitely put the time in.
So on that warm up, on the practice, you have different colour jerseys. What's that all about?
So we usually split up into whatever lines that we play on the night. So you could have the first line, second line, third line, and you usually have all your defensemen in one colour as well. It's just so that everyone knows who's who you're playing with for the night. It can always be an indicator of who you're going to be playing with at the weekend, because it may not be the same.
I actually caught up with after the first night. I caught up with Matty Croyle. I'm talking to Matt Croyle. Hi Matt, how are you?
Hi Doug, I'm really well, are you?
No, I'm not so bad, Matt. I've got a pretty good workout out there.
Yeah, I'm a bit tired. First time on the ice in a while, so.
Yeah, so congratulations on coming back to the Wild. What was the reason for returning?
I had a really good season last year. I think there's areas we can improve on, so I definitely want to come back again, make those changes and get it done. The fan base was really good as well, so love playing in front of them. It's definitely the best crowd in the league to play in front of, so I want to be back and play in front of them.
It's definitely the sixth man, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Massive advantage of them behind us.
Yeah. So what are you looking forward to this season?
Looking forward to playing some more fixtures, playing different teams. I think the league's got a lot better this year, so definitely testing myself, try and push myself a bit harder, increase my save percentage and see what happens.
So you got another good netminder has joined you this year as well.
Yeah, well, it's definitely a way to learn. So it should provide some good competition, push each other harder. So yeah, I'm very excited to work with him.
So what was the best thing about last year?
For me, winning playoffs. The whole process was really good, but to actually get to those playoffs, especially beat Sheffield, it's really good. Enjoyed that a lot.
So that was a bit of payback, was it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, loved it.
put them down in the final. Right, thanks very much anyway, mate. Thanks for that.
Doug. Thank you.
Well, that was Matt Croyle at the first training session of the year. I think he had some really tired legs that night.
I think they all did.
Yeah.
It was good to see all the guys out there, and you had a bit of extra fun for them, didn't you?
Yeah, we did a speed camera check. Now, lots of the players think it was a bit slow.
Yeah, I think either that or some lads are just a bit disappointed with the results, but I don't think it was an accurate.
Some I think
guide, if you like.
I think a few of them it might have been picking up their skating as
Possibly,
they were hitting the puck, but there were a couple who were quite consistent.
The top three though were Mike Moore, Elvis, and Mikey Gilbert.
Yeah. Well, that can't be right then.
So you should be in the top three.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Mikey Gilbert shouldn't be there anyway.
I think you should be in the top three for hitting.
Oh well.
Because when you put hitting, people do feel it.
No, it was good fun. It was good fun. It's I think it'd be good to try it again another time and see what we can all crank out. Definitely.
Well, we might be secret games. We might have one of those handheld ones where you don't know.
Yeah.
We're actually taking readings of shots from the pointer when you're doing power plays.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. Definitely.
They're feeding back to Vince. They go, "Oh, that was a 90-mile-an-hour shot, whatever it was."
Yeah. you gotta hit the net though. Like I think it was Dippy was the only person who missed the net.
Yes,
he was near enough in front of it, and he was the only one who missed the net.
Poor Dippy.
Yeah, he admits that though.
And then we had Mike Moore sitting under the ice with the machine.
Mike was behind the net, wasn't he? As well, yeah.
He'd been shot out without any goalkeeping stuff on.
In the line of fire, definitely.
Well, he had the net between him and the speed gun, but he could have done with a face cage on just in case. One thing I noticed when you had the training session, occasionally somebody has to do an extra lap when you're going to your huddle.
Yeah, so usually when Ollie shouts everyone in for to explain the next drill, he'll shout last man, and whoever's someone might not have heard it for whatever reason. Whoever comes in last, they've got to do a lap. And what you also do is you'll put a puck in the middle, and if whoever's doing that lap hits the crossbar, he shoots and hits the crossbar from the centre line, then everyone's got to get up and do 2 laps.
That's a good one.
Occasionally it does happen. TJ's actually quite, as amazing as this is going to sound, TJ's actually quite good at it. Yeah, he'll crank one off a crossbar from centre line, but
that's not bad.
That's quite some going.
He is, yeah, he's not bad.
So are there any other particular sort of training things that you prefer to do over others when you're actually out there, sort of getting ready in the week?
I think if it's mid-season, it all kind of depends on how your previous game was. So sometimes you may realise that you need to kind of work on your your defensive zone coverage or whatever it might be. It's always good to work on those things, but I think all of us like to start with a few what we call flow drills, and it kind of you gets you moving, gets you around the ice, gets the legs pumping, and it's also it's good warm up for the keepers as well. They've got to work on things as it is, so. It's good for them as well.
One thing, more so looking into games, because we've got the games coming up and people come and watch warm-up before the games happen, and most teams have a very similar routine at warm-up, but occasionally some teams will throw a slightly different drill into warm-up. Is there any teams you've been on that have had, I'll call it a bit more of a non-standard warm-up routine?
No, to be honest with you, I think all warm-ups are pretty similar. A couple of seasons ago we used to do like a last puck, so everyone had kind of crowd around the net, and someone I think it was Kieran took the puck onto the blue line, and he'd take a shot from the blue line, just nothing major, and you kind of got a battle with everyone in front of the net until you can score. So that was always a bit of an icebreaker for the end of a warm up, which was good. It was good fun.
Any other sort of, well, you've said about the lap as your little penalty if you're last man into the the briefing for each drill. Is there any other sort of penalties that you've come across that over your years from juniors all the way up that you've had?
It's become a bit more recent is we do like jersey boy, because obviously everyone wears their jerseys every week, and you don't tend to take your own home and wash it, so it kind of gets hung back up again. It can get hung back up for a few weeks, so we do jersey boy. usually once a month. Whoever loses it, it's usually Ken Armstrong. Whoever kind of loses it is, he's got to take the jerseys home and wash them. And yeah, we have sometimes you can have like a golden helmet or a specific shirt to wear for the night, which kind of stands you out as you're the one who's lost or whatever it might be. It's quite fun.
Or sort of say you're the one who's got to I don't know, so have odd coloured laces or something in your shoes as well.
Yeah. But you have to fill the water bottles up or whatever it might be.
I have a quick question as well. Warm-ups have never been a great thing for you, but 2 seasons ago you had a real problem with a warm-up in Hull.
Oh yeah, one of my good friends, Sam Dunford, played for the team a couple of seasons ago. He hit me in the face with a puck on warm-up, and he completely blew my chin apart. And I think Tom Jackson's mum's kind of patched me up for the night, and then I had a further accident during the game, and I ripped all my nose open as well. Well, so I was a bit of a mess that week.
If that was a wild weekend. That was a wild game in Hull.
It was in Hull. Yeah.
I would have been there.
Yeah, I've got the pictures and everything. Yeah.
I've got that game up. From the father's point of view, he played the game and then came home from Hull, so you know what time he'd be getting home.
Oh yes.
And then said, "Dad, will you take me to the A&E?"
I needed a lift to A&E, and he stitched me up there. Yeah.
Now, ladies, gentlemen, listeners, friends, this is the difference between the different kinds of sport. Now, if there's a Shine Dog, I think it is, T-shirt out there. Yeah. And what is it? Boys play football, men play rugby, animals play hockey.
That's right.
But there's another one. There's a couple of meme videos that have gone out, and it's you may have seen it. There's a football player gets tackled. Light little tackle, he rolls over and floppy fishes and oh, I'm all hurt. Oh, me. Then there's another one where the hockey players took a puck, I think it is, to the face. He then goes off, gets stitched up, comes back on for the rest of the game and scores the winning goal.
32 stitches. 32 stitches.
That was the one, yeah.
I think obviously each sport is individual, and there are some sports that are a little more violent than others, but some. Again, without saying any sports, but football, you kind of tend to roll around on the floor and pretend you're injured for a bit. But hockey players are definitely a special breed, I think, especially goalkeepers.
Yeah, we haven't got one of those tonight, so we can talk about that.
Well, we all know goalies have goalies. I do have a very soft spot for goaltenders. A good friend of mine actually is a field hockey goaltender, and. They might be padded to the hilt, but they still end up looking like they've got all kinds of massive bite marks all over their body.
Sport, yeah.
But it is the thing where you hear tales, and there are true tales of National Hockey League players in North America where they're going, I've got to play in this game in the Stanley Cup, but he can barely move his leg, and he's like, just give me the right painkiller injection. The coach and the trainer's going, you can't go on until you move your leg from here to here, and you can bite through an oak door.
This season in the NHL, in the Stanley Cup final playoffs, in the playoff run, I think it was a player called Erik Karlsson. He played like the most of, I think it was about the 4th round, with like a hairline fracture in his ankle, and there's a guy played with a torn ACL. It's craziness. It's injuries that put people in bed for months and months, and these guys are playing.
Manchester Storm, we were quite involved with the players, and particularly with one of them in particular, who's Dan was very friendly with his son. And there used to be a player called Kelly Askew who played for Manchester Storm, who at one point, halfway through a season, broke his thumb all the way back to his wrist. And he had a special stainless steel cast made so that it fitted into his glove and he could hold the stick. And he played for the rest of the season with that stainless steel splint in his glove.
Yeah, I've heard tales of guys kind of breaking fingers and stuff like that, and getting their fingers strapped together in their gloves, and carrying on playing. It's just getting their hands taped to the sticks and stuff. It's craziness, but that's. you love the sport, so you're willing to do that, and especially you're willing to do that for your mates as well. It's camaraderie, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I being a supporter and videographer for many years, I've chatted to players, and I always say to any of the players who are out there, and they're on the sidelines because of an injury. In the case of, how are you doing? He said, yeah, but I'm frustrated. I want to be back out there.
Oh, yeah.
And they hate it.
There's nothing worse than watching the sport you love playing.
That was like you, wasn't
whilst
it?
You're injured.
Playoffs.
Oh, exactly. We lost we won the playoffs whilst I was sidelined. I couldn't play. I had an unfortunate accident in the previous game, and I couldn't play. It was the worst thing ever, watching your team win.
But of course, you were part of getting the team to that run, so you can take a lot of pride in that. I mean, all the guys played a massive part in getting the team to that point in the season. Anyway, it was a fantastic growth for the whole club.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So
there is Danny's hat trick as well. We need to mention that.
My hat trick.
Yeah. And what happened before that game?
Sorry.
Tell the listeners what happened before that game, where you scored your hat trick. I came up to you and they said you're going to score 3 tonight.
Oh yeah. I think it was against Nottingham, maybe. Yeah. Doug did tell me I was going to get a hat trick, and I think, funnily enough, I did. Yeah. I was using new sticks as well that night. So they're always a help.
Well, he said I normally score 1, and he went and scored 2.
Oh yeah, that was a good game. Yeah.
Brilliant game.
Well, we should take a little breather again for another bit of music, and hopefully we've got the right one queued up for you. What one has he got then?
Well, I'm hoping this one is going to be possibly Eton Rifles
by the Jam.
There you go.
Eton Rifles from the Jam. Now, hopefully, if we haven't lost him, we have someone on the phone for us. Peter Hagan, are you there?
I am indeed, sir. How are you doing?
Oh, great. So, Peter, introduce yourself to our listeners.
Well, I'm the head coach of the Manchester Mayhem Para Ice Hockey team, who've been training and playing out of Widnes recently.
So, we were both, Doug and I were there the other weekend for a game against Peterborough. So, what was it? Just a case of ice time was of an optimum, and he ended up coming over to Widnes for a little while.
Obviously the background of the team was we used to be part of the Manchester Phoenix, and I think everyone's aware of what happened there. So what we'd say is we've gone independent as the Manchester Mayhem, and we tried to kind of split time between playing games at Altrincham and Widnes, and we also train at Widnes like every other Tuesday. So I suppose technically Widnes is our home rink.
I think you might have had a bit of a change with the sort of overall feel of things this week when you came. Well, the other week when you came to Widnes and actually playing a full game. Was it a bit different? Do you normally have the announcements and all the music going on at the same time?
Yeah, it was definitely a lot more of a pro feel there. That was for sure. And the guys were literally feeding off the energy. I think not just obviously from the music and the announcements, and almost like I've seen what you guys have for the Widnes Wild, but also like the crowd was boisterous and noisy. I think is probably the best way of putting it.
Yeah, there were a couple of guys on the back row, sort of in a mixture of Storm and actual Mayhem shirts, and
there was quite a few from the Widnes Wild there as well. I think you had about 50 odd people watching you.
Yeah, it was definitely, if not the biggest crowd we've had. It's obviously one of the biggest we've had since the team started 5 years ago. The guys were just buzzing when they came off the ice. They really enjoyed obviously the chants of mayhem and just the screams when the goals went in. So yeah, hopefully it continues. So that's for our next game.
And that is a big game, if I'm not mistaken.
No, it's just not just walk in the park. It's only the undefeated league champions. So yeah, it's in the bag. Don't bother turning up.
But you want people to turn up. I mean, if just to big it up, there are highlights of the last game online. So if people look up Manchester Mayhem on YouTube and search by date, you'll actually see the highlights of their last game against the Peterborough Phantoms, and it was an absolute cracking finish. One of your players was rather pleased with this performance. Would you say?
He was indeed, yeah. Graham Wilson, usually known as the Pain Train, but we've changed him to Graham the Money Wilson now. I think he's still talking about that game. He's been playing for 5 years, hadn't scored a competitive goal. We were taking the mickey out of him when we played Cardiff because he tipped one into his own net, so we kind of awarded him half a puck for his first ever goal. And then he plays against Peterborough, scores the opening goal, and then scores the overtime winner with 24 seconds left. So I think it was the loudest scream I've ever heard of like joy from one player.
Well, yeah, I mean, you came very, very close in that. You can actually see it in the footage. There was a nice, good shot on goal, and then a bit of a scramble, and then the puck just gets laid into in front of the goaltender, and next thing it's popped in, and Graham sort of just going wild with the celebration. It was brilliant to see.
Yeah, I think it was Rob Allen who was the first one to grab him, and I think tipped him on his back. You just see Graham like sprawled out, arms in the air, and then on the ice, and just celebrating something shocking. I think we were kind of the same on the bench, just sort of screaming and hugging each other. So it was a huge win because obviously it secured our place in the playoffs.
Well, I mean, we are going to mention it in a moment, but your next game's on Sunday. Give it a quick plug. Say why people should come and watch Manchester Mayhem.
Well, if it's anything like the last game, it's a guaranteed heart attack. I think the thing people don't realise with para ice hockey is I think it's basically of everything. It's disability sport. It won't be as good as proper ice hockey, you know. But I can guarantee if you come down, it's as fast, it's as physical, if not more physical, and it's going to be two top sides kind of battling it out, just basically for bragging rights. I mean, it's got to be seen to be believed, I think, is the best way of putting it. It's free admission, so you can either stay at home and watch a repeat of some god-awful film on TV, or you can come down, watch some live sort of para ice hockey. I guarantee you'll walk out with a smile on your face.
No, both Doug and I walked out with smiles on our face last week. Didn't
it was a great game to watch.
So we're both looking forward to it. So anyway, thank you for coming on the air, and we'll look forward to seeing you on Sunday.
No problem, pleasure anytime. And I said, come on down, and I guarantee you'll be surprised at how fast and physical it is.
Thanks again, Pete. Good night.
No problem. Cheers. Thanks a lot.
Okay, bit of the What's On guide and website reminders for stuff from the RTL Widnes world. Of course, you've got your Puckers Pals highlights and season ticket and Widnes Wild Ones membership all on the website, widnesworld.co.uk. But the biggest shout out I think we've got to do this week is for the Own and Loan shirts. We only have 14 shirts left out of a total of 66. There are 5 away and 9 warm-up shirts. The shirts that you can still get: Danny Bracegirdle's away and warm-up, Lee Kemp's warm-up, Mikey Gilbert's away and warm-up, Nick Manning's warm-up, Phil Crosby's warm-up, Tom McDonald's away and warm-up, Matt Croyle's warm-up, Tom Ratcliffe and Tom Jackson's both away and warm-up. They are going fast. Check out the Widnes Wild website. The game shirts, that's the away shirts, £75, and the warm-up shirts £60. So get your names down now before they're gone. Doug, what else is coming up?
Right, this coming week, as you've heard, on Sunday we've got the Manchester Mayhem against the Kingston Kestrels Para Ice Hockey. That faces off at 6:30. There's an extra game being slotted in on Wednesday the 23rd, which is the Riverside Raiders against the Halton Huskies. So it's an inter-rink rivalry there, and that starts at 10:15. It's a late start, isn't it? And then on the Sunday, the 27th of August, we have the first of the RTL fixtures for the year. Facing off at 5:30, it's the RTL Widnes Wild against the Bristol Pitbulls in a pre-season friendly. Don't know if it's going to be friendly or not. It's going to be quite hard. Having spoken to the guy who's involved with the Pitbulls, and he'll be on there next week.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be that friendly, will it, Danny?
No, I can't imagine so. No, we've played him before, but no, I don't think it'll be that friendly.
Of course, the season will be starting the weekend of the 2nd of September. Plenty of stuff still to come. A little bit of time left with our guests. So, let's come to Danny. What sort of things are you going to be looking forward to in this coming season?
I think it'd be nice to play with a couple of different people, a couple of players I've not played before. I've not played with Elvis and Mikey before. And we've also picked up young Matty Barlow. I think he's going to be a really good asset. He's a young lad. He's only just turned 18, so he's definitely going to be a great asset for the club. Also looking forward to there's going to be a few more fixtures this year, so it'd be nice to, it's always nice to play more hockey, that's for sure.
Vince, what sort of things are you looking forward to?
Well, it's going to have a bit of a new look to it, the team this year, so I think that's going to be an interesting thing. I'm hoping that we're going to get even bigger crowds so we can really build the atmosphere up, and obviously we're going to try to improve everything that we can do. The match night experience is we're building on that. We're hoping to get some more interesting games for the period breaks. So hopefully we should have a really, really fun season ahead.
I'm really looking forward to it. Doug?
I just can't wait for the fixtures to come out.
Yeah.
I see the only ones out so far are D1 South.
D1 South are out at the moment.
Yeah,
still haven't got a confirmation for D1 North, or never mind D2 North yet.
It's been ridiculous. It's taking a long time, but
watch this space, keep an eye on your social media, newspapers, and of course the Time to Go Wild radio show here on Halton Community Radio. We will bring you those fixtures as soon as we get them. They'll be in fits and spurts, but so we don't end up just rambling on, but they will be announced as soon as we can get them.
Yeah, we have been asked on numerous occasions this week when they're about, and we're not holding them back, and the team's not holding them back.
Nope.
When they come out, you'll get them.
Yeah, it's all got to come from the league, and believe me, no matter what league they're in, getting the fixtures out is always a nightmare. Everything from top all the way down and down and down. Well, I'm going to ask Danny the question. Now, we had to do a bit of a briefing on this because he's not familiar with the Crystal Maze, but come on, it's the Crystal Maze question, Danny. You can pick members of your team and you've gone on the Crystal Maze. Who do you sacrifice the crystal for, and who do you leave locked in?
I'm definitely going to leave. I'd say Tom Jackson locked in.
Oh, Teej.
Yeah.
What did your copybook?
Love him to bits, but he's no good to me on the day.
And who are you going to sacrifice the crystal to get out?
I'll probably keep Greg.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll probably take Greg. He's
romance.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
They're going to talk about that now, you know that, don't you?
Oh, I'm sure they will. Yeah. I don't think TJ will be too impressed. He's going to be too bothered. He'll be happy.
I'll put Vince on the spot. If you had to take any of the guys on the team, be it over the years that you've worked with the club, who would you sacrifice a crystal for?
Do you mean players just from Widnes, or
we'll go with Widnes for now?
For Widnes, I think I'd definitely leave my lad in. He'd definitely leave him locked in because he does nothing but whinge when he's out. So he might as well stay in there and give me a bit of peace and quiet.
Understandable, really.
Who would I sacrifice one for? That's a good one. I think I'd probably sacrifice one for Gilly as the coach. Steady head, always there, never lets you down. Yeah, he'd be a good one to sacrifice a crystal for, definitely.
Come on, Doug.
Crystal Maze question.
Yeah, your turn.
It's an interesting one, that. Who would I sacrifice? Probably someone who played for us last year. Mr. Fico.
Oh dear. Sorry, Michael.
Sorry, mate. That's got my bad vibes out on Mr. Fico. Who would I keep in? The whole team.
Oh no! You got to pick one. You got to pick one to sacrifice your crystal for.
Well, I've sponsored Danny since I first started looking at the team, so it's got to be Danny.
Oh, okay.
There's a definite bromance going on here.
We don't need you anymore, Vince.
Danny's saved.
Dear me.
So who would you? Let's turn the question on you, Cole.
Okay. I'm leaving in. It's one of two, but he only played for us for a wee while. Tom Revers. Sorry, Tom. You're a great lad, but unfortunately I'm going to leave you because from time to time I know you like to pick on some of the Wild lads now that you're not playing for the Wild, so I'm leaving Tom Revesz in, and it's you're probably going to say it's an obvious one for me to get out, but he's probably got the most dedicated grandparents in ice hockey, and that's Kieran Strangeway. I mean, his mum, his grandparents come over for as many games as they could over the years, and he's a cracking lad and does his job, and he's a big loss to the club. So yeah, that's my sacrifice, Crystal.
He's definitely going to be missed in the room anyway, Kieran. That's for sure.
We don't know any idea if we don't know if he's signed anywhere yet. So, but wherever he does, we wish him well. We do wish Kieran well.
It's interesting when we were on earlier about family and who they play with, because some of the players are going to go away in the next week on an event with some more players, but from different clubs.
Well, yeah, I believe Colin just mentioned one of them, Mr. Revesz. He's a good friend of a few of us on the team, mine and Sean's definitely. I've known him for a while, and he's getting married. So it's going to be a stag do when we're going away to Ibiza on Friday for 4 days. 4 nights.
Oh dear, Ibiza, what be warned, here they come.
Indeed.
I'm just glad he's moved out.
That must have been why Sean got his beard cut, especially for the occasion.
He's had a haircut.
He's had a haircut and the beard cut, yes.
Tomorrow.
The best beard in British hockey, and he's had it trimmed.
He's had it shaped.
Yeah, he's
still there.
He's shaped. It'll be back.
Excuse me, I've got the best beard in hockey.
So, no, I mean, with Dippy, we just loved it because there were some games where he'd just go shaking his head past somebody. In this case of, I think someone said something about his beard, and I spoke to him after the game. And what did they say? And he said, "Oh, they just tried to insult my beard," and I just laughed.
Yeah, usually, that's his go-to move, is just to laugh at people. Yeah.
So, well, are there any sort of different aspects you're going to be thinking of your game to improve on for this coming season, then, Danny?
I mean, I've dropped nearly a stone now since the end of last season. Just trying to get a bit fitter, be a bit faster. I don't know whether the hitting will be there as much. You're starting to get a bit older. No, that's a lie. That's a lie. I'll definitely be hitting as much. But
that'll be good. The Bulldozer will be back.
It frightens teams when you do that, because the whole team just takes. Our team goes up in stature, and their ones take a step back. They're like, "Oh no, someone's actually hitting us."
Yeah. No, I'll definitely be hitting as much, and I just want to be a bit faster up and down the ice. No one likes being gassed after the second shift. So
there is a nice little story about that, if you want. Very quick one.
Oh yeah, please.
When Dan came to Widnes at the very beginning, he played for the rec team, and they decided that they were going to have. I think it was the first game that they played was against the university side at D side, and of course Dan was a good player coming into the rec team, and he'd just come back from Australia, where he had been playing in Australia, so he'd already got his ice legs. And within the first 5 minutes, Dan had pretty much taken out the complete first line of their team. He put one over a barrier, broke another one's wrist, and I think he broke the collarbone of another one or something like that.
Hey, wasn't
I take it they didn't have the plexi installed at that point in part of the D side.
I don't think they had anything installed by the time
side.
he finished. Yeah.
No. No, I do remember.
It was a wrecking ball machine. That was
the Bulldozer strikes.
I was definitely Neil Herring's favourite player that night.
he made his mark.
Well, I mean, there's a couple of games where you've made your mark, and I think one of the biggest ones, and we said it time and time how clean it was when you hit Otterson from Solihull, and that guy was good.
Yeah,
and I've said it on time and time again. You hear a shout you can still hear it on the video, and it's like quite a way away from where the camera is. You just hear some shout, "Heads up!" and then there's this.
Yeah.
And it's like, whoa!
I wasn't their favourite. I wasn't their favourite person the night after when we had the return leg in over in Solihull. I definitely paid the price for it. That's sure.
Oh dear. So, any more quick tales to tell? Nice, amusing ones for the last
I've got a lovely one for you about when he first started playing, and he actually had come from. He did all his skating grades at Altrincham, and then he needed a team to play for, and the first under-10s team was Blackburn. And so back in the day, they used to play for a minute and then the buzzer would go and they'd swap and so on. And so he's only knee-high to a grasshopper, and he goes out and he plays his first period and came off the ice, only toddlers, little big cage on the head, crying his eyes out. And I said, what on earth is the matter? And he said, well, I don't really know how to tell you this, Dad. And I said, go on. And he said, well, when they're all out there, they're all swearing, and I don't swear, and they're making fun of me because I'm not swearing. And I said, look, it's absolutely fine. What goes on the ice stays on the ice. Just remember that. It's fine. So he looked at me and he said, are you sure? And I said, yeah, it's fine. So the second period starts, and he goes out onto the ice. Now, I had not actually made it quite clear as to the volume at which you were allowed to swear on the ice. And all you could hear was this little lad on the ice swearing his head off, absolutely reverberating round the whole of the ice rink.
This is at Blackburn.
This is at Blackburn. And everybody say to me, what is going on? And I am going mad at the side. And as he came off, big grin on his face. Oh, yes, I'm one of the players. I better just have a quiet word with you, Danny, about this swearing business. Unfortunately, it's still not really changed. You can still hear him shouting, but the one thing about it is that it's a lot of enthusiasm for the game. He's never let that go, and I'm very proud of him for that.
I must admit, you can tell that when the guys are on the ice. I mean, sometimes they might miss a shot, or they'll go in, and it's a case of they lay a pass on, and even the big one is goalies, and sometimes when they've been scored, and a goaltender loses it and breaks the stick. Have you ever? You might have bust your stick, but trying to break a goaltender's stick, have you ever tried?
No, I've never tried that. I mean, they're getting a lot lighter these days, so you probably break them a bit easier now. But definitely not those old wooden ones that I've seen goalies wrap around crossbars and all sorts.
Yeah, I've actually got a signed one from former GB international goaltender Stephen Foster, and it's a fair piece of wood. It's a hefty thing. And a lot of the players have carbon fibre sticks now. I mean, you've got to take care of the kit, haven't you?
Oh God, yeah. They're nothing's cheap anymore in the game. It's an expensive, especially sticks. They don't come at a nice cost anyway. That's for sure.
But you play for the love of it.
Well, that's it. Yeah. You sacrifice all sorts of different things to play the game you love. So.
Well, as I say it again. Particularly guys at D2, you think you might have a hard week in work. Yeah, that's one thing. But then there's having a heavy duty week in work, and then there's going and playing maybe one or two ice hockey matches, one on a Saturday, one on a Sunday, and the travel. It's
and you got your trainings as well during the weeks.
It proves how fit you are.
It's a mental attitude as well.
Yeah,
but as Dan said, the one thing that pulls you through always is the camaraderie that goes on in the changing room, and they're all really, really, really good mates, and there's a lot of banter that goes on that is absolutely fantastic, and that's the name of the sport, and that's what we need to encourage with the youngsters these days.
And that, I think, is well, we're going to have to start wrapping up because we're running out of time, but to be honest, I think that echoes the whole sentiment. You come and watch ice hockey because it's a family sport, and it is fun. And it's camaraderie with the fans as well.
It is, and it also purports the great thing about the fact that it's okay to lose.
Yeah.
There's no harm, there's no problem in losing. What you do is you lick your wounds, you review what you did wrong, and you put that right for next time. Yep. So there's no problem in losing. It's a great lesson. And that's, again, something that we need to pass on to the youngsters.
Yeah. I think that I couldn't say that better myself. Dan, you...
No, absolutely no. They're kind of teaching kids now that they have to win everything. I don't think it's always right. I think losing's a good life lesson. But as long as you put into practice what you need to do right, definitely.
Yeah. As long as you've done your best.
Yeah.
You'll always come up with someone who's bigger, stronger than you. And it's just like making ways of actually getting around that and learning.
Yeah, and I think also one other final point as well that's very important is that there's no one player on a team.
No.
It's a team. Everybody wins and everybody loses together.
Unfortunately, Doug, I'm sorry, we are out of time. So, unfortunately, that's it for tonight. Good night.
Good night.